Good morning. It's Elle Ingalls at pressure-free.com. I just wanted to show one of my maple trees to you this morning because the leaves are just amazing and turning very early. I don't know if you're noticing that where you live, but very early turning. So some pretty leaves this morning to start the show. Beautiful, beautiful. So this tree is right outside my bedroom window, and it's actually been almost salmon pink, just really, really kind of like this leaf here. Really, really beautiful color. I have a little bit of trash to share. If this weren't so dirty, I'd wear it, but isn't that fun? It's a crown. I don't know if it's a Burger King crown or not. It doesn't have anything on it, but it's definitely a princess crown or a king crown. And then this was on right outside my gate this morning. Some Laffy Taffy. So a little bit of smiling because, gosh, I don't know about you, but I keep clicking and watching what's going on with Irma. I have so many friends who have homes in Florida. Some of them have left, some of them have not. Family, my sister and her family lives in Florida. So, and I'm sure everyone watching this knows someone that either has a home there, maybe they're not there, maybe they go down in the winter. And so just kind of watching this storm and what's going on, it really got me thinking this morning. So I wanted to do this program on secondhand stress. And I see Carol's on. Carol, we need to still connect. Thank you for coming on. John, thank you for joining this morning. So everyone coming on live to my Living Pressure Free show, thank you so much. And anyone who's watching the replay, whether you're live or watching the replay, you can feel free to like, heart, share this out. If you know of someone who is struggling with stress or who wants to lift their life to a new level, whether it's their performance at work or school, athletically, that's who I help. People who want to take their game to the next level, whatever that game may be. Maybe it's their relationship, maybe it's their relationship with their children or their parents or their spouse or partner. So, and then of course health. People come to me to help with their health. Thank you for the like. That is certainly, and it's funny how some people will come to me for one reason, a main reason. Like let's say it's performance. If I have a student athlete that really wants to perform at a higher level and we're working together, it's so interesting the byproduct of what starts to happen. Academically, they start to improve. Their mind is working better for them. So whatever reason has got you watching this show, there's so many other, you could call them side effects, but side benefits from watching the show. I see Dale's joined. Thank you so much for joining. So today what I want to talk about is secondhand stress, because a lot of us are in, professions that cause us to experience some secondhand stress. We also just watching the news, just watching what's happening with these hurricanes and what's happened in Houston can cause, you may not be directly experiencing the event, but it can cause secondhand stress in you. Hi Juanita, thank you for joining. Juanita's really getting some benefits from Pressure Free. It's so wonderful. So secondhand stress, oftentimes it's subconscious and we don't even realize it's working on us. Like I mentioned a little earlier, I've been it's almost like on the hour, I'll just check in to see what is happening with Irma. Which side of Florida is it affecting more? I'm sure you may be too. And anyone who watches the evening news or, who watches the evening news or, or listens to it on the radio, we hear these stories of events happening in which we have no control. We don't have any control. And maybe you have situations in your life that are personal that you have really no control over. It's involving another person and they hold all the cards, so to speak. And yet we're still suffering from stress. We're still releasing stress hormones. So that is really the key. Can you watch the news dispassionately? Can you watch it or listen to it objectively, realizing that it's not in your control? Maybe there are things you can do that are in your control. The moment I heard about the storm, I texted my sister. And I know she's got other places to go and other family members, but I just wanted to know her to know that here in Michigan, it was a possibility here too. Hi, Sherry. Thank you for joining. So just, if you can do something, that's wonderful. If you can pray positively, that's another thing you can do. However, if you trigger stress hormones, then it's going to affect you personally, and it's going to affect everyone that's right around you. It's going to affect your circle of control, what you can control versus what you can't. So it really takes maturity. It really takes a level of discipline and practice to not release. When I think back to before I became pressure-free, before I started using my method, I reacted all the time to the news, very emotionally. I'm very empathetic. It's just a part of my makeup, and maybe you are too. It's so easy. In fact, one of the tragedies I remember was the Waco incident many years ago in Texas with the fire, with the cult. I felt like I was in it. I was so in it. It felt like it was happening to me. I don't know why. That one event, I was, of course, much younger. It just really, really affected me. Hi, Janie. Thank you for joining. So secondhand stress. I certainly wasn't in Waco having that happen to me, but I might as well have been because of my emotional makeup. When we put images in our mind, when we take images in, they affect us almost as strongly as if we were there ourselves. So I know often I've talked with people, my clients, about, guarding your mind. Watch what you take in. And that goes for just about anything that's in the media, like very violent movies or really scary movies or, any images, pornography. Any images that you take in are going to always be there. They're always going to be in your mind. And then later on, something may trigger something and you'll feel that anxiety or you'll feel that tightness. If you are in a position, a profession that is high stress, so basically anyone can be. It just depends on your coworker situation. It depends on what's happening with your organization. If it's a tough time financially for the organization, everyone can be very strongly affected. So, but I know that healthcare, education, anyone in a uniform, those are really, really high stress professions. And it's social workers. That's another one where you will take home some of the stress. You're of course being empathetic with the people that you're working with, and you can actually take on their stress. It can cause you to release your own stress hormones, even though you're not the one directly in it. So we have to be vigilant and careful about that. I don't know how many of my clients will say, yeah, the evening news definitely releases stress hormones. So it's like, okay, be careful. Certainly don't watch that 11 o'clock news if you want to fall asleep. But decide, when you're going to take your news in your day. And also, I would definitely use the pressure-free tool of relaxing your abdominal muscles. Your abs are going to tighten. That's one of the places that most people, not everyone, but most people are aware that they will tighten their abs when they go into fight or flight. You're gearing yourself up so that you can fight violently or run away very far, very fast. And so we kind of coil up and tighten. Some people it's shoulders, but usually, the gut has something to do with it. So if you ever get my business card, you will see that the very first tool on it, on the back of the card, I list some basic tools for people just to help them. And relaxing the abs is the number one tool. The reason it's the number one tool is if you relax the muscles in your abdominal region, you send a signal to your brain that you're not under attack, that you are okay. Now you're going to be able to think more logically. You're going to be actually able to do something, whatever that is, that can be a part of the solution instead of a part of the problem. So relaxing abs, very simple. You can do it anywhere, anytime. By the way, if you've been sucking in your abs all the time to try and look skinnier or have those six-pack abs, when you relax your abdominal muscles, you actually gain a better posture and you won't look fat. So please just let it all hang out. Relax this. I'm actually, I have a body coach in Colorado, Lila Gonzalez, that I'm working with, and I am learning a fantastic body discipline that is really freeing up the gut even more. So relaxing your abs can be a wonderful way. So if you're watching the news and a story comes on, if you, like me, are watching this hurricane and what's happening and paying attention to it, see if you can keep your abs relaxed so that you don't release stress hormones. If you release stress hormones, you'll have a tougher time going to sleep, because the second flood, not the first flood. A lot of people think that adrenaline and cortisol go out at the same time. That's not how the body works. There's a lot of misinformation about stress. I have spent many, many years drilling very deeply on the fight or flight stress response, and I'm an expert in that nationwide. This is my expertise. Understanding that there are two floods of hormones is so critical to understanding what's happening in your own body. If that's of interest to you, I'm going deeply into the science, the how-to of pressure-free, the why behind it, the science behind it, and really sharing with you how the method works on a free webinar. I'm doing a free webinar Wednesday night. So if this interests you, when I get done this broadcast, I'm going to be putting up all the information. I'll put a link right on this broadcast later so that you can come on that webinar with me. If you can't come Wednesday night, then please private message me or go directly to my website, pressure-free.com, and you can sign in for a free strategy session with me. And that free strategy session is no obligation. I never push anyone to work with me, just to let you know, because some people are like afraid, oh, she's going to try to sell me something. Honestly, everything that I do is pressure-free. I will share with you what I do, and if I feel like what I have could be of benefit to you, I'll share every way that you can learn it. And there's a price point for you, so have no fear. Have no fear. I'm never going to push something on you. That would be totally antithetical to what pressure-free is all about. Though I will be extremely honest with you when you share with me what's going on with you, how pressure-free could be of benefit to you if I feel that I'm the right coach for you. Also, sometimes I will refer people to others. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I am a coach. I work present to future. And we do a little bit with the past, but mostly it's present to future. So strategy session is great because it's private, but the webinar is fabulous too. I have a lot of people come on that webinar and gain so much benefit. So please jump on that webinar Wednesday night if you're interested. Also, if you have a family that would like to learn more about pressure-free, I meet with families as well, online and in person. So learning this method can totally transform how your family interacts, how your family performs, their daily life, and academics, physical, how they can perform, that we relieve getting anxious before things. Oh, Juanita, thank you so much. Juanita just chimed in. Juanita is one of my clients right now, and I mean, miracles are starting to happen. I feel it for you, hon. It's amazing. But what she's saying is true. She is not high pressure, but is highly helpful. That is so true about me. That kind of differentiates me from a lot of people, because pressure-free is my method. Everything that I try to do is not high pressure. It's to relieve you of the pressure. It's to free you. And it's really fantastic when that can start to happen. So thank you for that, and thank you for sharing that, Juanita. It's so helpful when people who are working with me share what's happening for them, because I could say it all day long, but the proof is in what happens with other people. So back to this idea of secondhand stress. Most of us have a lot of empathy for others, especially if you're in a profession that is helping others. And I think of that with first responders. I've worked with a few first responders, and helping first responders stay in that calm. They have to have a lot of emotional resiliency just to do what they do. But I have worked with first responders who will say they just have to have their pager go off, and that jolt of adrenaline goes through. So I have, I think it's on my website, I have a first responder who worked in my course when he was still in high school, and he's now a firefighter, an EMT. And it's phenomenal to read that testimonial. And he shares how he is able to work so cognitively when he's helping people in need versus other people who we clearly can see have triggered fight or flight. So if you are in one of those professions where you need to have that emotional resiliency, I really want to have a strategy session with you. So if you're an educator, education today, you're on the front lines. You're on the front lines of people who are so in stress. They say that 69% of educators are experiencing high stress levels. That means that the very people teaching our children all day are in a high anxiety, high stress mode. So then our students are also imitating that high stress mode. They can feel it. And parents, let's be honest. I'm going to call myself out here. I was a high anxiety, super achiever, type A, go, go, go. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Our family packs a lot in a day. Now we do it pressure free, and we can actually accomplish more when we're not crazed with adrenaline. So hello, my name is Elle, and I was an adrenaline junkie. It's the truth. So when you're honest with yourself and you begin to understand that, your body is going to thank you. Your cells are going to thank you. Your mind is going to thank you. If you're worried about chronic disease like Alzheimer's, dementia, cancer, high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, all chronic disease is caused by the release of stress hormones. I'm going to call it out. No matter what you eat, no matter how you exercise, if you're releasing too much of your fight or flight stress hormones, that is really, really serious. Hi, Heather Ann. Thank you for joining. So second-hand stress, popping our stress hormones because of something that is out of our control, because we're being empathetic with another situation, that is so high. Thank you for the likes. That is so harming you just as much as your own personal stressors. So it's something, first understanding our own triggers and then taking it that next level. So if you are a parent and you see your child experiencing stress, I assure you, you're probably releasing a lot of stress hormones yourself because you love your child so much and you hate to see them going through anything. So anybody that you care about, that you see going through something, like all of our friends and family members who are in Florida, even if they've left Florida, they're about to watch a storm hit. All of their belongings, everything that they own, some people have put their lifetime into their retirement homes, and it's really it's so easy to empathize and it's so easy to release the stress hormones. So my number one tip for you today, as I said earlier in the broadcast, is to release your abdominal muscles. Stay calm in your abdominal region. It will help you relax throughout your whole body. It's like you're starting in the core and moving out. A lot of people will start with the feet and try to move up, but I've found if you relax first in your abs, that it's easier for the rest of you to relax because you're going to be able to breathe abdominally. On another broadcast, we'll go deeper into breathing because it's certainly a wonderful tool. We've all heard about it. Take a long, slow breath to de-stress. I just never took mine soon enough, so my face would have already turned red and I'm already in that crazy adrenaline phase. So relaxing abs can be so helpful. It'll allow you to breathe better, and it will help you protect yourself as you're watching the news, as you're taking in information that is not in your control. It's so easy to trigger stress hormones out of things that are out of our control. And we do it in the tiniest of ways. Like if you're kind of a backseat driver, I'm raising my hand again, I can be a really bad backseat driver. I'm better now that I'm pressure free, but I used to be really terrible. And it's because I'm not holding the steering wheel. I like to be in control. Anybody else on here like to be in control? Little bit of a control freak? Little